Your paycheck hit. The money is in. The next 72 hours are not the days you spend money. They are the days you decide the quality of the decisions you'll make for the rest of the month. Because the very first moves you make when the money arrives determine whether you'll live the rest of the month through a system, a plan, or through damage control. By the end of this talk, you'll understand this. On payday, the problem isn't the money. The problem is the order. The moment you put the money in the wrong order, your decision space starts shrinking by the second week of the month. And when it shrinks, you're not managing a budget anymore. You're managing obligations. When you say, it's not enough, it doesn't go far, most of that isn't about your income level. It's about your decision space tightening. And you're going to fix that, not with motivation, but with a small mechanical shift. The paycheck came in. I feel relieved. I'll spend a little. Then I'll get myself together. Does that sound familiar? At first glance, it makes sense. But human behavior doesn't work that way. The moment money arrives, there's a clear shift in your brain. A signal. The tension is over. When that signal hits, two things happen at the same time. First, your perception of risk drops. Second, the phrase, "I'll deal with it later," becomes normal. That's why higher spending when cash is available isn't a character flaw, it's a cycle. In Turkey, there's even a name for it: zero-day spending. In Conda's 2025 barometer research, people report spending heavily on the day they receive their paycheck or immediately after. There's no moral lecture here. We're talking about systems. Here's why those 72 hours are critical. When a new period begins, the first decisions become the default setting. If, in the first 3 days, the money sits in one pool, decisions are scattered, and boundaries aren't clearly drawn, the rest of the month flows in that same scattered way. And that disorder isn't just money loss, it's option loss. Risk doesn't begin when your balance goes negative. Risk begins when your options start closing one by one. When you say on the 18th, "I can't do anything this month," the problem didn't start on the 18th. The entire month was locked in during those first 72 hours. You just didn't notice it. Now I'm reducing this to one rule, one decision. When the money arrives, you must start with this question. What is the correct order of my money on payday? If the order is right, you can make mistakes during the month and still recover. If the order is wrong, even the right decision gets delayed because you run out of space and start postponing. Let's talk clearly about the traps. These will sound familiar. First trap, the "I deserve it" trap. The paycheck hit, the money's in. Your brain wants a reward. That's human. But when it runs unchecked, budgeting turns into emotional management. Second trap, the "I'll fix it later" trap. I stretched a little, but I'll cut back later. That sentence produces the most "I wish I hadn't" moments mid-month. Because once the structure breaks, cutting back usually comes with stress. And stress-driven restriction is never sustainable. Third trap, procrastination. I'll sit down and plan on Monday. But by then, the money already feels like what's left. And once it feels like leftovers, the perception has shifted. Game over. The budget is finished before it even began. In this channel, transformation comes from here. Not timing to rhythm. Not willpower to automation. Not intelligence to structure. Not effort to measurement. Now I'll give you a model you can memorize. No charts, no formulas. Variable 1, locked money. Variable 2, free money. Locked money, the portion you do not touch. Free money, the portion you live on. One clear rule: The moment the paycheck hits, you lock first. Free money begins only after the lock. That's it. What happens if you reverse it? You start with free money. You try to lock if there's anything left. And by mid-month, you meet the truth. There's nothing left. It's not enough. And that's the line this channel holds. If this kind of clear decision content helps you, subscribe. If it puts something into place for you, hit like. There's no motivation here. There's decision quality. Now you'll see this in two concrete examples. Same person, same paycheck, same month. First scene, the wrong start. A notification pops up. Paycheck deposited. First move? Small purchases. I've been working all month. I should get this. I needed this anyway. I'll grab that too. If I'm not going to spend it, why am I even working? The problem isn't the spending itself, it's the order breaking. Because those small purchases, even if they look harmless one by one, send a message to the brain. This month's money is free. On day 2, the credit card balance shows up. I'll pay it off in a couple of days. On day 3, a social plan appears. I've been exhausted. I'll go out and enjoy it. After 3 days, there's still money in the account, but there's no structure. And the critical break happens here. The money is no longer the plan's money. It has become the money I have. On the 12th, an unexpected expense hits. Health, repairs, family, home, it doesn't matter. Because no structure was built, there's no margin, only obligations, postponement, debt, stress, and then more postponement. Second example, same person, different decision. The paycheck hits. First move, not spending, lock. Within minutes, 2 automatic actions run. Savings are separated and locked. Funds for fixed expenses are set aside. This doesn't feel like I'm holding myself back. It feels like I'm creating space. It feels like authority. Then fixed expenses are scheduled. Variable spending is deliberately distributed. There's no early month binge. There's controlled flow throughout the month. After 3 days, there's still money. But this time, there's something else. Decision space. When an unexpected expense hits on the 12th, it's not a crisis, because the option space never closed. The difference isn't the paycheck, it's the order. Now 3 rules to think about. Hard rule, daily scene, cut line. First rule, saving isn't a goal, it's an order. Daily scene, you say, I'll save this month, but you release everything into free money first. Cut line, if the order is wrong, the goal is just good intention. Second rule, manual control collapses under fatigue. Daily scene, you try to manage dozens of small purchases one by willpower. Cut line, control isn't tested on good days, it's tested on tired ones. Third rule, risk is written at the beginning of the month, not the end. Daily scene, panic starts on the 25th, the calculator comes out. Cut line, panic shows up on the 25th, it was written on the 2nd. Now the concrete strategy. 3 steps. Simple. 1. Don't leave your budget in a single pool. At least 2 buckets, locked and free. The lock must be visible. The free portion must be bounded. 2. Automate the lock. Set it to run the moment the paycheck hits. Because if you leave it to, I'll do it, it becomes a willpower decision. and willpower isn't the same strength every month. 3. Split the timing of spending. Make fixed expenses visible in the first 72 hours. Spread variable spending across weeks. If you do all the relief at the start of the month, you'll experience all the compression in the middle. There's one more risk factor: unexpected expenses. The real question isn't, will something unexpected happen? It's, am I prepared when it does? That's why a small emergency fund inside the lock is essential. Without it, a single expense breaks the rhythm. When the rhythm breaks, automation breaks. When automation breaks, the month returns to survival mode. 72 hours isn't a number, it's a behavioral key. If you remember one thing, remember this: when the paycheck hits, lock first, then live free. In the next 7 days, which decision will you make differently? The moment the paycheck hits, or a little later again?